Okay, that was a blooper. Let's try that again while there's nobody here. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. For those who are going to listen to back and hear that. Well, welcome everybody. This is Exotics Radio Podcast. I am Cracks, your host. It is Friday, and you guys know what we do here on Friday. We bring on a guest. As they will get here soon enough, we will definitely start our interview. Until then, we've got some music going on for you. Just sit back, relax, and our very first song is coming up next. And we're back as everybody's making their way into the room. Wow, a lot of people are here already. We've got Eric Kirk. We've got Stefan Hotup, Happy Ant, and Moon over Miami. So I hope everybody's doing well this Friday. I hope they had a great day. And if you're just starting your day, I hope you're here for the relaxation and, of course, the interview that is going to happen. Waiting for our guest, Flo, who just messaged me. Yes. Okay. I see Flo is in the room, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite her. She needs to come to StreamYard. Flo, I just posted the link for you to come and follow. And then, of course, after you click on the link, everything will say explained. Also, remember to mute or get off of YouTube because everybody will hear the feedback from YouTube as it's playing. It's just a few seconds behind StreamYard. So, again, you're going to have to mute that. So, anyways, everybody, welcome. We've got Ophi Spider-Verse. Now, while we're waiting for Flo to set this up, give me a second. I gotta message her. And like I said, it's the link I just sent in. If you can actually, She's typing on Instagram, ladies and gentlemen. She's doing this from her phone. So, Wednesday, I tried to do a contest on Wednesday because I wanted the people to kind of join in and losing the weight with me. And then I went and consulted a medical personnel about the whole thing. Apparently, contests and weight loss is really bad. It was a kind of a last minute thought for a contest. Like I said, I want to keep things interesting for you guys. I want to keep things interesting for myself. Eric knows the issues I've had in the past. Now they've worsened. Eric, my yearly checkup decided to say no. I've had a couple of breakdowns, and it just wasn't very good. And of course, the feedback I got from you guys, most of it was positive, as you guys said. You know, your heart's in the right place, just the wrong way of going about it. And then when I consulted the doctor, pretty much said the same thing: heart in the right place, wrong way of going about it. So we started up a new group, or I started a new group. It's called No Shoes for You, because you can't think of a pet that wears shoes. Pets don't wear shoes. And of course, this group varies. We have people who own snakes. We have people who own frogs. We have people who own spiders. We've got people who even own fish listening to this podcast. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to find a group name that everybody can enjoy. And so we did. We got like I said, it's a walking group. Now we've got weekly contests going on, and at the end of the month, contests going on. Tony's Tarantulas. Tony, I saw your post on Facebook. Congratulations, man. You got to hang out with some of the coolest people on the planet. Some of the greatest legends in the UK when it comes to exotic pet care. So I just wanted to say, Tony, congratulations. You're not a fat man. Just gonna put that right now. You really are. You're a big guy. I'm not gonna lie, but you're not fat. But anyways, like I said, we had started a group. Now the group is walking group. Who can take the most steps in a month? And in that time, there's 4 weeks, and each week you've got 7 days to do a slight scavenger hunt. The scavenger hunt this week is find a bee. Find as many bees as you can. I know in some places it's very, very cold, and some places it's extremely warm. They're everywhere in the UK and in Europe, parts of the US, not quite yet. So there is a surprise. Now I'm hoping, I know Ophi wanted to talk to her dad about something, and I'm not going to say what it is until actually we see some pictures. And I will definitely give her, if I can get some pictures, I will definitely give her one of the prizes that is up for a win. The first prize, or the prize for this week, is basically it's a free starter kit for juveniles. Nothing too big, nothing too small. And it's basically just something that I get from the store. I get it for free, and it's kind of like a hint towards recycling. It's really fun, but you'll get substrate and some moss and the container as well. Now at the end of the month, there's a bunch of other things that are going to be added to it. At the end of the month, there's a lot of things going to be added to it to make it worth the while. So hope you guys can actually do the step count with me, and hope you join the group and do the walking, get out and go outside and take those steps, and we'll see what we can find, because this is more than just walking. This is actually, this is actually getting out and doing things. Now let's see if Ophi, where is our friendly? She sent me a verbal. Hold on 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. I'll play a song while we figure this out. There she is,
I'm
ladies and
in. I'm
gentlemen.
in. That took a while.
Don't forget to turn off YouTube because YouTube will actually play back.
Okay. How do we do that?
Well, it doesn't. Hold on a second. Hold on. I gotta switch you over on the soundboard, or people are gonna hear the echo.
Oh.
There we go. There we go.
So
Now, ladies and gentlemen, how about the reverb? Is the reverb still around? Gotta wait for their approval. I love the awkward silence, the awkward pause. Oh, fixed. Okay, happy ants on top of it. So, welcome to the show, Flo.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're here. I was so excited because you do something that most people don't do, and that is highlight the wildlife.
Right.
And you do this regularly. I'm like, oh, what has she got now? What's in the little home? What has she done?
Well, it's been really fun for me too, because it's something that I've been doing, I think, since the lockdown sort of started. I really got out there and started connecting with nature again, So I made the account and everything, and I didn't really think that I would have any followers, but I found all these spider friends. But I'm really enjoying it, and yeah, it's different. I don't think most people normally call pest control, and I'm sort of feeding them and looking after them. So my friends think I'm crazy.
Well, the thing is, the tubes. Was that originally for beekeeping or?
Well, I'll tell you the story about how Florence started. So, I didn't even notice I had these spiders. So I've always liked spiders. I like all animals since I was little. I used to have a habit of nursing sick animals. I'd go and bring home pigeons with broken legs, and we would look after them. So this was when I was a child. And obviously, growing up, working a lot, I lost all of that. But when the lockdown started, so I literally had a lot of time on my hands. My friend asked me to go and collect a bike from her. She bought a bike for a child off of eBay, and I put it out there. And out on my terrace. A few days later, her partner came to get it, and then they complained of a very sinister-looking spider that was under the seat. She was like, it was a black widow, 100%. And I was like, don't be silly. And I mean, I'd seen my cat scratching on the door. She's probably going to be howling in the background, so enjoy, everyone. So I'd seen lots of kind of sheet webs out there, and I had a spider, which was like a classic garden one. I called her Charlotte. So she was out there, but I never really noticed that I had any spiders like that. So time on my hands, I went out there and started looking around, and I Googled all the kind of spiders that you could find, black spiders or whatever. And that's when I came across the Segestria florentina. And I was like, oh, I bet I've got one of those. And I didn't realize that I had about 500. So I cannot
Surprise.
believe. Yeah. Well, you know what? It's like all old bricks, like literally falling apart. And I'd go out there in the day, water the plants. I didn't spend a lot of time there. But then when I started, because I found that huge one, which is obviously Florence, and I started looking around, and on it, I've lost count. Because they're so tiny, some of them, and then some are huge. And I was just fascinated. So my friend was like, oh, you should make an Instagram account. And I got really attached to them. So I started feeding them, as I do with most animals. And it's just been from there, really.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, go check out Flo the Funnel and Friends on Instagram. No, it's exactly how you spell it, with just the oh gosh.
It's Flo, FLO, and then underscore.
Underscore, thank you.
Yeah, that's it. I always forget as well.
People are asking if you're English.
I am. Oh, not originally. So I'm German. My parents are mixed. My mother's Polish. My dad is German. I was born in Germany and I grew up in England, in London.
Oh wow.
Yeah. All mixed up.
You've traveled.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, it's been quite a journey with the spiders, and it's been really cool because like I joined like a Facebook group as well. So I'm finding out a lot about British spiders, which I didn't think we had so many.
Oh
Which
yeah,
is
you have a
really, really
lot.
amazing. Yeah, it's really cool.
No, you call the little tubes your hotel, correct?
Oh yes, the bee house. Sorry.
Yes, the bee house. And you call it the hotel. And you've got all of these cute little babies. I call them the cute babies. The
Mhm.
residents. They're cute
Mhm.
little residents. They're very colorful.
Mhm.
And they get a steady amount of food from you as well.
Mhm.
And you always catch them, especially the males. I've noticed you've got a lot of males out and about. Of course, they're looking for the
Yeah.
girls.
Well, it's really interesting. So we've got the Segestria florentinas. I've caught those. They're the sort of the larger spiders with the green fangs. Lots of males out. And then I have a lot of noble false widows and the Steatoda grossa, which is the false black widow. So that's why I bought that small bee house for them. So if anyone follows me, you'll see that on my account. It's like it's made for bees and it's small tubes, but lots of different spiders have moved in, which is so cute. And they're sharing, as far as I can see. Although I'm pretty sure the nobilis, she's probably going to eat everyone. She looks pretty feisty.
I'm just amazed. Well, okay, I'm gonna say I'm gonna put this the reality check on this. You've got a nice place for them. You've
Mm-hmm.
got they're not living in your house.
Mm-hmm.
They're not that you're not calling pest control. They're not bothering anybody. So when the little babies are getting born, because you have a lot of females there,
Yeah.
uh, are you prepared for the other females to start eating them? Because you know
Well,
that's what's gonna happen.
I this summer gone, I saw. So I had. There's a Steatoda grossa in one corner, really black, like the false black widow. She had an egg sac, and then I saw another egg sac. I never saw the spider, but it's the same kind. So it was on the other side, and definitely a noble false widow at the end. So they've all had babies amongst the Segestria florentinas as well. And I can't see them anymore, so they've dispersed everywhere. But the other night, I kind of went and shone my light on the bricks, and I found so many tiny, tiny little weeny ones. Like they've built their webs,
Aw.
and yeah, they're hiding. So they seem to be out of the way of the larger spiders. But I assume, that's nature. They balance themselves out. Otherwise, I'd have some
You'd
serious
have an
spiders out
overpopulation.
there.
You'd have
But
an overpopulation.
yeah, well, it's getting that way because my terrace is not even 2 meters across, and it's like 6 or 7 meters straight down, concrete, nothing much going on there, just some plants. And I've got like 15 or 16 female false widows. I'm not seeing the males. I think they probably hide. Hide and save themselves. But that's just now, I mean, they're going to double because they're quite happy and I'm feeding them. So maybe at some point I might need to, take some to the park or something. Don't know. I'm happy with them.
That's wonderful. No, another reason why I wanted to bring you on is because you do highlight the wildlife side.
Mhm.
Happy Aunt says she sounds so prepared for this, like she's been interviewed 100 times.
Really? Oh, no, I'm not. I didn't prepare at all.
No, she didn't prepare at all. She was straight up. I've never done this.
That's so funny.
Uh, Now, my question to you, because do you have any future plans for your channel? Do you have any future plans for the photography? Because you take wonderful pictures. You take
Thank
some
you.
absolutely gorgeous pictures on there. And so I was wondering, if you were thinking about upgrading and getting some like those macro shots
Yeah.
that you always see everybody taking. Are you thinking about doing something like that, or are you just going to take it easy and play it by ear? What are your plans?
I am gonna get a better camera. I tried some of those little fix-on ones for the phone, They were terrible, completely terrible. Didn't work.
I
Covered the
told you.
flash. So I think you have to invest in something decent. I mean, for now, it's been kind of fun. Sometimes I get great pictures. Sometimes they are terrible. I think that's to do with my kitchen light being on in certain corners of the garden. Maybe the flash gets disturbed. But it's something that I'm getting into. And it's actually made me think about wanting to work with nature. So I don't know where this is going to take me. I mean, for now, it's literally just for fun. And they're in my garden, so I go and visit them. But I may well start taking macro pictures, which will be good.
I'll be the first one to sign up. As soon as you start, as soon as you make your first calendar, you have to sign it and send it to me.
Yeah, I will.
Because I think that... Go
Sorry,
ahead.
go on.
You
Go
first.
on,
Guess
you.
first.
So yeah, I needed to research cameras. I have no idea about cameras. I had a look, and it all looked extremely confusing. So I think that will be the first job, to find a not completely expensive one, because I've seen some that were like 10 grand. So that's a no. But maybe maybe like 400, 500, something like that. But we'll see.
Oh,
My
well,
phone's not so
you're in
bad.
luck. I was gonna say you're in luck. You're with a group of people who take good pictures, macro pictures, on a daily basis.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, they will. You can definitely go and ask them.
Yeah.
Now, are you
I
thinking
will.
about getting into? Are you thinking about getting into tarantulas or the bigger species? Or are you just fascinated and loving your little ones out in your garden?
I always, like I said, I always like spiders. So I used to like Google pictures of them and just send them to my colleagues at work randomly. Whether I'd actually get one anytime soon, I'm not sure, because I've got 3 fish, I've got my cat, I've got 3 jobs, and then I've got the spiders outside. So I considered it, but I get a bit stressed sometimes with all the stuff I have to do. My aquarium is hard work, believe it or not. It's only goldfish. So I want to make sure that I can look after them all, because I don't want to be that person who's got loads of pets and then doesn't look after them. But I would like one, definitely. I've had a look at, well, there's one spider. I don't think it's a tarantula. I'm going to forget what it's called now. This is typical of me. I want to talk about something and then I'm like, eh. It also kind of lives in a tube. It's Spanish. That was a good clue, right? Let's have a look. A mackerel. Not a mackerel. It's not a mackerel, but it's macrothel. There you go. Do you know that one? Macrothel?
No.
It's very
No.
nice. So I'm quite interested in that one. But I thought maybe I could like steal one of the spiders from outside and see if I can keep it alive inside first.
Oh, yeah, that would actually be really good practice there.
And possibly cruel, because I don't know if they'd like that. But
They won't. I can guarantee 100%. They won't
Yeah.
like it.
No.
But if I was gonna say, there is a couple of people who have true spiders that are not native, but generally they have true spiders that would be very good for you to start in with. Maybe then you can get the practice of rehousing and housing and setting up the terrarium, and actually get the whole experience.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
trying
no,
to think. Ladies and gentlemen, I know there's some groups out there, but I don't know the directly UK ones. So you, start popping up some UK names, and maybe we can help Flo out. Now, I'm just gonna say this very much. I'm a huge fan. I'm already biased.
Thank you.
I think I was friends with you. I think I started following you when I was back on Podbean, way back in the day, when I first started up my actual Instagram for this whole thing.
Oh.
Oh, there you go. Creepy and Crawly UK says get a Vita, Vita, absolutely.
Let me have a look.
I think I wanted to say beautiful, but I think there's some curse word in there. I try to keep it.
Vitata?
Yes.
Vitata.
Vitata.
I'm gonna have to check all of this out. Yeah, I mean, I really want one, but I was looking at a lot of accounts because I love, all of your accounts. Your spiders are amazing, but I'm seeing like people getting the substrate stuck in their legs and oh, this this the girl was changing her aquarium. Oh, not the terrarium, isn't it? So there's a lot that I don't know. Because I would have just stuck the spider in there with some leaves, and I need to look into all this side of it. And it depends on the species as well, I assume, for what you have to put in there. But I like the fierce ones, the ferocious, scary ones, which is not good for a beginner, obviously.
Yeah, no, definitely do your research first. I'm 100%. That will stop 99.9% of your troubles. Do your research before you do anything.
Exactly.
And then, of course, if you find a garden spider or something in your house, then you just put it in a nice big enclosure, start feeding it, and then you've got your experience.
Well, the small ones are quite difficult. So I have a couple of house spiders in here. One's in a plant in my bedroom. It turned out to be a Parasteatoda. It's like an American house spider. It's same family as all of the Steatoda or the widows. And I tried to give it some food. So stupid me, this is hilarious. I ordered these flightless fruit flies. And I was trying to get them in the web, like no success. Dropped about 5 of them in the plant. But at that point, I know, it just suddenly was like, oh my God, they're going to breed in my bedroom. And I was like, now what do I do? So I had to take this poor spider out. And as I did that, I realized my plant was full of mites. So I had no reason to disturb this spider. It was eating. I just made a big mess. But feeding the small ones is harder. I washed the plant afterwards, and the spider's back in there now.
That's good.
yeah. And I hope there's still food there, because otherwise it's going to be hungry. But the big ones, like the ones you can give worms to, are much easier, I find. I don't want to be messing with those flies.
Yeah, no. You'll understand that nobody in this chat right now that I can see will deal with those flies. We just simply don't like them. I don't like them because they bring in mites. And mites are absolutely abysmal for any type of pet. So I don't deal with them. Creepy Crawly UK said that they had tons of what they would call true spiders. I went over this a long time ago. I don't call them true spiders. I think tarantulas would be a true spider, considering they are the first, and every spider we see after that, the web spinners, came after the tarantulas in the evolution scale. Now, but I understand what they mean. They're talking about the ones that you constantly see in your garden, the orc weavers, the widowers, just about everything. No, they're probably a good person to go to and ask to find out what it's actually the first time I've seen them in my chat. So, welcome, Creepy. No, I want to take a quick break and give everybody their shout outs, give them their dues. It's kind of what we do here. You're a firm listener to the show, so you understand. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to give you your shout out. So we've got Moon Over Miami, we've got Happy Aunt UK, we've got Stefan Harop, we've got Opie Spider-Verse, which is basically her dad. We've got Eric Kirk, and we've got Tony Tarantulas, as well as Ellie. Ellie Bug Baby said hello. She hasn't been chatty yet, so hopefully she'll come back and say hi. I didn't really get a chance to get to her yet. And then who else? I know we've got a couple more people. Oh, yeah, we're missing a few people, but maybe they'll be on later. And then also we have Creepy and Crawly UK. Thank you guys for being here. And Mark the Spider Guy just walked in. So I want to say thank you guys for being here. If you like the show, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you want to hear, some feedback. Like I said, I'm shooting in the dark here. So I'm shooting at the hips. I don't know what people like. So, with that out of the way, all the introductions out of the way.
So back to spiders.
Oh, absolutely. We're going back to the spiders.
Well, I
That's what
don't
we
know.
like. Go
I
ahead.
was going to say, I thought of something to speak about. I came across a spider the other day. I'm going to have to check what it was called. So it's a cave spider. I've forgotten the actual term, the name, something Minati. They're amazing. So they look like the widows, so all of that comb-footed family, but they're much larger, and they tend to live in caves. So they'll live in the dark, and they rarely ever come out. So that's another one that I hadn't seen before. And they found in London, they found them when they broke into like 150-year-old tomb kind of place full of graves, and they found all these spiders in there, which are like really rare. Has anyone heard of these? Because I love them. I think that might be my favorite normal spider.
Now, how do you spell it?
Yeah, hang on a second. If you just do cave spider, I had this already, and of course now I can't find it. Metaminardi, so META, and then MENARDI. But the one that they found was the Bornetti. So that's META, and it's BOURNETI. I think they're so beautiful. So I have one place I need to explore still. I have this storage area, which is just closed out at the end of the terrace. And I'm hoping it's going to be full of them, but I really doubt it. But you never know. So I'm going to do that at some point. But it's probably full of like the giant house spiders that we hear about. What are they called? Let me have a Google 1 second. My brain. Giant UK house spider.
And ladies and gentlemen, wow, Mark. I just want to take this time to say my condolences because Mark had just stated he lost his scorpion today.
Oh no!
My biggest condolences, sweetie. I know that
really
that
sad.
hurts. That's really sad.
Really sorry.
Creepy and Crawly UK says that spider is very beautiful.
Yeah, it's nice. Is everyone having a look?
Yeah, I think some people are. Let's see. Let's see. There it is. There we go. Now I gotta have a look. Yes, Mark. My biggest condolences. I'm sorry, sweetie. That hurts. That hurts the heart. But so everybody, give Mark a hug. Give him a virtual hug.
Sending you hugs.
Give him your loves. Now I gotta look up this. Look up this
Bornetti.
Yes. Oh, they're cute.
It's nice, isn't it? Yeah.
They look like they look like a larger version of a Black Widow, honestly. Yeah. But they're very, very brown.
Yeah.
With a very delicate legs. The legs are sexy. I'm just gonna put that right now.
Very long legs, but they're much larger, so they span out about, I think, 20 millimeters. They said. So I'm hoping to find some of these. I think they're amazing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, I would definitely. If you find one in your house, you have to let us know.
Exactly.
These are so cute. Oh, I found a new one. I found a new love. I found a new love of my life. Now, some people are suggested that you get a curly hair, or a brachypelma for a first tarantula. So, and I believe the brachypelma teletocatl genus. I think those two genus definitely, for a beginner tarantula keeper, definitely do good for you.
Brachypelma. So is that BRAK?
Oh, okay. Hold on.
I'm testing you.
I'll spell it for you. There you go.
Okay.
Brachy.
Mm-hmm.
Pelma, Pelma.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Okay, yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah,
It's a
the
very nice
Brachypelma genus
photo.
has a couple of species. Oh, I didn't say a couple. They've got quite a few species.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they come in variety of different shapes, colors, and sizes.
Yeah, they're
But
nice.
the Teletocatl, um, just look up curly hair tarantula. That's actually
Yeah.
probably the easiest way to. That is the Bob Ross of the tarantula world. I need a male in my life so I can name him Bob Ross. That is what I need to
Mhm.
do.
Let's see this one. So that one's cute as well. I mean, they're all cute, aren't they? They're all like just pretty and nice. But thank you for the advice, guys. Yeah, because I was looking and I go through and I choose which one I would possibly get. But they all seem to be these old world types, which everyone says is not for a beginner because they're quite
Oh,
fast,
absolutely
aren't
not.
they?
Well, not just fast. They're defensive, so they'll try to get away from you until they
Mm.
get cornered, and then they have venom that is, uh, in general, not all, but in general, as a general rule, they'll have medically significant venom.
Okay.
Uh, I can tell you my experiences from being bit from a P. metallica
Mm-hmm.
was not fun. It was
Yeah.
probably
Makes you quite
oh,
ill, right?
well, it's not just for a short bit. This
Mm-hmm.
lingers, and you can get reoccurrences throughout
Mm-hmm.
for about up to 6 months. They say. For me, it was
Wow.
between 4 and 5 months. But I
Interesting.
believe it was. I think mostly it was five on the more part of the 5 month part.
Hmm.
But it
Wow,
was
I'm
just
sorry.
random. I would get a cramp and I couldn't move my arm, or I'd get such a massive headache that would drop me to my knees, and I'd start throwing
Wow.
up. And these attacks will happen morning, noon, or night. You
Mm-hmm.
can't. And I wasn't cleared to drive, to be honest, for that short. When
Mm-hmm.
I was under what they call under the influence, which would be
Yeah.
the influence of the venom,
Wow.
because you can get an attack and you just have to pull over, and there's no walking it off. It doesn't go away within a short time. It can take up to 2 3 hours for this to go away.
Wow.
That's how you know you got an attack. It's when
Mm-hmm.
it takes 2 to 3 hours, and painkillers are not going to touch it. And since I have hypersensitivity, it actually put me in the hospital for a short period
Oh
of time.
gosh.
But that wasn't. I mean, like I said, not to blame the tarantula at all. That was
No,
completely my fault. One
it's
hundred percent my
natural.
fault. I was in a hurry and
That
not
that's the
paying
thing.
attention.
We're not supposed to handle them as much, are we? The ones
Oh
that
no.
have.
A big rule of thumb for tarantulas: zero handling. Think of them like
Yeah.
pieces of art that you collect, living pieces of art.
Yeah.
You feed them, you take care of them, you love them,
Mm-hmm.
you collect them like you would rare pieces of art, and you treat
Yeah.
them like they're rare because
Yeah.
they're one of a kind. You can't replace them. Once they're yours, they're yours. And then you put them up on a shelf for all the world to see. But then you give them their nice, beautiful homes for them to hide in and live comfortably. And then you don't touch them.
No, they're not ones that you put on your lap. Although I see a lot of people taking their tarantulas out and handling them. So I don't know if that's a trend, but we're not supposed to bother them, are we?
No, you're not really
No.
supposed to bother them. But that's just my take. Now, some people actually say that they get therapy from handling the tarantula. They feel
Mm-hmm.
at ease when they're handling the tarantula. Not to say that they're wrong. I'm not blaming them. I just hope they do it in a safe manner.
Yeah.
Because what can happen is the animal is too heavy, and if they
Mm-hmm.
fall,
They
it's
can get
death to
injured.
them. Oh
Yeah.
no, they just die. They're too
Yeah.
heavy. They rupture internal organs.
Yeah. I
Um,
read about that. So when they fall even in their enclosure, they can get severe damage inside, can't they?
yes.
Oh.
So yeah, like I said, it's one of those things. And speaking
Mm-hmm.
of tarantulas, I've come across a conundrum, and I'm really kind of ticked off with the mail service right now. I ordered a larger enclosure for my LP. She is 17 and a half, almost 18 centimeters big.
Mm-hmm.
She's about to molt. I don't know how much bigger she's going to get
Wow.
on this next month. I know how big she's going to get in her full lifespan. But at the moment, I don't know how big she's going to be after this molt. I have yet to get her enclosure. my so here's the thing. What I was going to do is I was going to move her into the bigger enclosure that I've had ordered since I think it's like 4 months ago. And then I was going to put her in that enclosure, fix that the closure she was in, and fix that up for when my Nandu Tripepe, older female, actually molts. So yes, I was going to put, just kind of switch them out. I've yet to get a same the enclosure so I can actually move them along. So now I'm trying to find cheap enclosures, large enclosures, on a couple of sites, and I can't find a single one.
Wow.
So
So you've
it's
ordered
like,
something already, but it's not come through?
no, it's been about 4 months.
Wow. Where from? If you're allowed to say. Or you're not. Maybe not.
Amazon.
Amazon. Oh, wow. Oh, God. I was going to say
Yeah, yeah.
Amazon and eBay are normally good for these kind of things, but...
Exactly. So what I'll end up probably doing is going to the pet store and breaking down and buying something from one of them. And I really don't want to do that because they tend to jack the prices so beyond my scope of being able to for reasoning in general. Because it's like, wait. Now you're talking to a lady who likes to buy Exoterras, but I usually buy my Exoterras from Amazon, and I've never had a problem. And most people go, well, didn't you buy another Exoterra? I was like, no, not for an LP. An LP needs a lot more room than what they can really give for the price. So yeah. No, we've got a lot of text going on in our chat. Let's see what let's see what the people are talking about. Eric Kirk said, "Have a great weekend and happy Easter." By the way, we've got Stefan Harb says they've heard a fall from even 1 inch. I have no idea what 1 inch
Can be
is.
fatal. Oh, it's like
fatal.
About 4 centimeters, I think, roughly.
Oh, okay.
Something like that.
Mark Spider Guy says, Mark was asking how Tony's day was, but Happy Aunt left quite a bit of text. So let's see what Happy Aunt has to say. Says, yeah, I'm okay. Thanks, Mark. Just waiting for my tea. And had a new Ant Queen delivered this week. Yay! I'm gonna have to have Happy Aunt on my show to talk about ant keeping.
That's an interesting hobby.
But this week, the Royal Mail handled the package really badly, and it was damaged. So the Queen had eaten her brood / eggs. That's rough. I'm sorry, Happy. Just try to keep her optimum conditions so she lays eggs again and starts a colony and doesn't die. So right now, apparently, from my understanding, for Happy Aunt, it's raced against time. So good luck with that, Happy. I hope the best for you.
That's very interesting. I'm going to have to check out Happy Ant. I didn't know that people sort of kept and reared ants. That's fascinating.
Oh yeah, no, we have everybody from do just about everything in this class.
Yeah, it looks like
I have such a wonderful group of fans because they I don't know, they keep so much, and they're so willing to keep an open mind on other things, which is so great. And so I just want to say thank you guys for being so wonderful. Tony's Tarantula says, my day has been all right, Mark. I rehoused that Okuri's tea? I believe that's one of his...
Okay, yeah.
Is that a scorpion? I hope it's a scorpion. And it's got a tibial hook. Oh, never mind. That's an actual tarantula.
This is all
tibial hooks.
To me. This is another language, but I'm learning.
Yes, tibial hooks come with boys, and it's generally spider oriented. Yes, a T orchidry is a tarantula tone. Now I'm gonna play another song, but I got a question for you after this song. Are you ready for a song?
Yep.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we got our next song coming up.
I am out.
And welcome back, everybody. Now, my question to you, because I did ask if I'm going to ask you a question, if you're prepared.
Yep.
Now, I was going to ask you if you mind if we brought in Tony's tarantulas so you two can trade, because he also absolutely loves spiders as much as you do. And he was offering to come and save the channel while we're trying to get you on.
That's absolutely fine. Come on, we can all talk.
So, Tony, I'm going to send you an invite. And there we go. There we go. Okay. A little bit of a lag.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Double sound again. Oh, yeah. Oh, hold on one second. There we go. I have to remember that button. I really do. I got spoiled on the other sound, was it soundboard, and where you didn't have to press any more buttons. It was just like an automatic in and out kind of thing. And this one you actually have to make effort to actually maintain and manage.
Sounds a nightmare. I'm terrible with technology, as I think you've seen from your few conversations with me. I normally just panic, complete meltdown. I don't know how to do this. I'm not quite sure how I've gotten through life so far, especially working in an office. So there you go. You're doing well.
Just breathe. That's all I can tell myself. Just breathe. I'm going to get through this. Origit just came in. Hello, Origit. Now, so we've discussed your babies. Now, I've noticed sometimes you'll post up, do you know if this is a male or female, or if it's anybody recognizes a particular spider? And usually the ones running up and down the walls are almost always the males.
Yeah.
They have the little boxing gloves on their pedipalps. Now, have you had any males, have you seen any males getting eaten or meet their untimely demise by trying to meet a female?
I've not been lucky enough to see this yet. So what have I seen? I mean, I found some quite hungry, sick-looking males. So the reason I got the worms was to feed them over the winter, because I figured what they probably live on are these, they're like wood lice, but I now know they're pill bugs because they roll up. So you guys can see that on my account. So it's like a wood louse, but it rolls up, and they all disappear over the winter. So there's hardly any food out there. But I caught a few like really emaciated looking males around, so I managed to feed them. And a lot of them have disappeared, unfortunately. So whether they've been eaten by females or just not made it through the winter, I don't know, but I've not caught any mating or mating/eating yet.
You sound so excited, like you're looking forward to it. Isopods. No, I have aunt called them isopods, and they are.
Yes,
We have
isopods, crustaceans.
my co-host on Wednesdays. He loves his isopods.
Yep.
So we'll not talk about the death or demise of isopods around. Let's be
No.
nice.
I do feel sorry for them. They're quite cute. But the spiders are not yet vegan, so
Exactly.
that's life.
A lot of people keep isopods. Yes. Most people here in this chat do keep isopods. But the first person I always think about is Scott from Scott Animals Adventures. And his pure love for these cute little critters. Now, I'm just happy he's not into cockroaches. Because you guys know I have a severe phobia of cockroaches. And I mean, it can get pretty bad.
Really?
Which is weird because, I own three of some of the most potent tarantulas in the hobby. And I have no issues with them.
I think with stuff like that is if you've experienced having them in the home, because I had a flat once, which when I moved into, they were there. And I saw one. I wasn't too freaked out, but I knew what would happen, and they breed. You come into the kitchen at night and you turn the light on and you just hear, and there's just like so many of them. So if you've had that kind of experience, it can be different. And I think if you keep them and look after them and feed them in an enclosure, I'm sure they are lovable. I would imagine it's just down to that.
Well, as I shared last Wednesday, one of the reasons why I have such a huge fear is because I have a little bit of trauma visiting other countries on vacation when I was bricklaying, which was a common thing. Some countries aren't as equipped as some other countries, and if you want to go visit some of these tea houses, you actually have to, and of course, cafes and restaurants. I visited a small cafe/tea house, and they were throwing their scraps into the outhouse that they were using. And I stepped into a nest.
Ooh.
Inside the outhouse. I couldn't get out fast enough, and of course, I was just almost immediately swarmed.
Wow.
It did make me sick for a short bit through a bacterial infection.
Oh wow.
So that kind of shortly after ended my thing. But yeah, that was one of the most horrific things I've ever went through.
So this was a nest of cockroaches.
Yes.
Wow. And you were coated afterwards in them.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Yep. No, I think that would do it. I'm pretty sure.
Well, I was already scared of them before then, but it was kind of tolerable. Yeah. After that, it was nope, never again.
That's a different experience because I think all of us are fascinated by these creatures, isopods, spiders. We love them. But I think to be coated in hundreds of them by surprise all of a sudden, I think that's not the best experience for anybody. It was certainly set on some panic, I would imagine.
Oh yeah, no, I joining now cracks. Okay, let me hit you an invite. There we go. Ta-da! Now, I will admit, I'm a big fan of Tony's as well, so I might fangirl just a little bit. Tonight's my night. I'm having some of the most wonderful people on my show.
Thank you.
Can't help it. He puts out some really great content, some very down-to-earth content, because most people nowadays, they have these great edits and these wonderful songs in the background and stuff. And they just simply don't have the down-to-earth feel to them anymore. Mm-hmm. Many of the group that here in the YouTube community I follow, and I love their content. And I love his content because just like theirs, it's pretty down-to-earth. It's not, there's not a lot of flashes, not a lot of, not a lot of bells and whistles going off. It's just
Yeah.
like here's what I got.
Yeah.
Hey Tony, how's it going?
How's it going? Are you well?
Hi, Tony.
Hey there.
Hello.
I hope
No,
everyone's
Tony.
on a Friday night.
Tony.
Yeah.
Everybody here.
Yeah, we're in.
Can
May
everybody?
or may not know that you got some new additions.
Yeah. I've
So
got
tell us what your new additions are.
Right then. This week I've got a Postal Terrier or a Miranda.
Yay!
A Postal Terrier or not.
Now, Flo probably doesn't know what those are.
No.
Basically, the common name is the Miranda's called the Bengal ornamental. The Ornata is called the fringed ornamental. They're like part of the genus Postal Terrier.
I
They're
like
not
the
fine.
ornamentals. I've seen those. Yeah.
I've got 3 of them so far. I've got the Indian ornamental, the fringed ornamental, and the Bengal ornamental.
Wow. Very
But
impressive.
I've got loads this week. I've got a Sama Pace and Minia Cracks. That's a nice one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
A Sea Darling, which is a horned of a bird.
Wow.
And Toby's Exotic sent me some bumblebee millipedes, tropical grey isopods, and some hissing roaches.
Oh,
Wow.
you could have.
Little
Why
angle.
did you have to add the roaches? Why did you have to just add the roaches?
Oh, I had to because I just heard that you have like a photo. I'm sorry.
No, you're not. You're laughing.
Well, the isopods are incredible. I've seen some really colorful looking ones, and actually the roaches. So I came across on one of the Instagram pages. There's a question mark roach. So this one is so pretty. It actually has a question mark on its back and looks more like a beetle, I think.
Oh,
I don't know if you guys seen any of those.
no, I've never seen one of those. They sound actually really.
I haven't. I haven't either. But I'm not really much into the isopods. That would
No.
be Scott. That would be my co-host.
Well, yeah, have a look. I saw that on Bugs in Cyberspace, I think it's called. So it's one of the accounts that I follow. But I don't think I have you on my account, Tony. So I will follow you.
Yeah, on Instagram, it's Brummy Tea Keeper. The Brummy Tea Keeper, that's my Instagram. I can't actually get the comments up on this phone because I don't really know how to use this phone. Otherwise,
No, that's fine. I'll definitely find you.
yeah, thank you.
Bromy. So Bromy. And then
What's that? Say again.
Bromy, and then
Tea Keeper. It's a picture of my profile picture is a blue and blonde spider. That's the best way to describe it. And
Okay.
Malfoy. Well, your tropical, the first isopods. These isopods, millipedes, and roaches are like the first inverts that I've got that aren't tarantulas or scorpions. Right. So like these, I've only got the tropical grey isopods so far.
Very nice.
I
No,
think
I quite like them. So my ones are all dark grey, just typical British sort of isopods. But some of them have had yellow markings on their backs, so they have like little yellow spots, which is quite interesting.
I've never seen that.
Yeah,
Oh, you're gonna have to take some
really
pictures of that.
Yeah. When I find them, only a few, and I think there are 2 types. So I've seen one that looked perhaps like the more common woodlouse, and then the larger ones are these ones that curl up. So quite a lot out there, which is incredible. Just for a concrete terrace, West London. I would never have thought there was so much stuff.
Well, look up rubber ducky. Rubber ducky isopod.
Rubber ducky isopod. I've heard that.
Ducky.
I'll have to look at that after. Rubber ducky isopods. What else have we got?
Oh wow!
Super cute. Do they look similar to that?
So no, kind of, but not so much spots. So the one I'm looking at now, it's come up black and white. They're still grey, but they had like yellow, a few yellow spots down their back. These are really cute. Oh, so these ones are grey with a yellow head. I'm seeing all sorts here. No, but they do look like that, but mine are completely grey, and then some of them had some yellow spots on them. creamy yellow spots.
Nice.
Yeah, these are
Wonderful.
beautiful though.
Actually, I think I know what she's talking about, but hold on a second. They're called high yellow.
High yellow. Let's have a look. High yellow isopod.
See, I'm not really well versed in the world of isopods. I don't really know that many different types of
Different
isopods.
types. Me
Yeah.
neither.
I ain't got a clue with isopods now. I just love my tarantulas and my scorpions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
I love everything, literally. But I think my suggestion with Florentinas are pretty close to a tarantula, kind of. They're pretty big, and they have like massive green sort of fangs, which I was very impressed with to find in the wild. Some of them are absolutely huge, so they're about, I'd say, 5 inches in span, with, let's say, with the legs. Some of them are a bit bigger, so not bad for London wildlife.
People don't realise that, like, in the UK, some of the true spiders are actually really interesting. Like, I've got a false widow spider, a female.
Mm-hmm.
Story behind this false widow spider. People who know about Peter Webster. I put out in one of my live streams, if anybody can catch me a female false widow spider, like, I'll give him a shout out. The very next day, Mark, the spider guy, messaged me saying that he wants to come and bring me one that Peter Webster caught in his invertarium. Like, and it's just laid eggs.
Wow.
Wow, you lucked out, man. You totally lucked out on that one.
Yeah, it's the city I'm in. It's like the only, like, it's a great privilege to be like in the city of Birmingham. I can't really find many privilege in here, but you know what I
I
mean?
find them quite hard to catch, though. I've tried, because I was in touch with a guy from the British Arachno something society. I've forgotten what it's called. Arachno. I can't say the word. Or we won't go there. But he
Arachnid?
asked me, I'll find it afterwards. I'm terrible, honestly, whenever I try to come up with anything. But he asked me to try and catch some of them in the beginning when I was trying to figure out what they were. They are so fast. They do not want to be caught. So I just gave up. I was like, this isn't going to happen, you know.
Yeah, they absolutely. They want to. With a false widow, people who don't know much about spiders, they're not really scared of them because they've read the newspapers. But in reality, they just want to run away from you because the amount of time I've tried to catch them and they'll just drop off their web onto the floor for safety, and it looks like
they're so shy. It's true. I think people are starting to realize this, but the media, it just makes it look so scary because they have like pictures of people with their arms of like half rotted off with no actual.
Oh, don't get me started on that. Oh, do not get me started on that.
So do you know what a stromatopelma calciatum is? Like,
oh.
When I saw that and I realized I had them, I still didn't want to get rid of them because I just thought, I always feel like it's not our right to destroy other creatures just because they can harm us. I just thought I'm just going to leave them alone. But I think now I didn't see them before. So I've been living here for 3 years. I've only seen them for the last year. That means I've been living here for 3 years with however many there are. Honestly, there's hundreds of false widows as well because they've hatched eggs, and I can see about 15 or 16 adult ladies. There's been 3 egg sacs. I've not been bitten at all. So it kind of shows you like they're not harmful. So I think the media gets it wrong, definitely.
I was gonna say, newsflash, they don't like people.
No. They're not interested.
They don't care about you, Karen.
No.
No, Scott, my co-host, Scott from Scott Animal Adventures, actually may have answered your question about which isopod you saw.
Okay.
A Gestroi, are a granulated isopod that they're believed to be the largest species of armadillium in the world, like the P. Hoffman's Eggy. I'm sorry. I'm horrible at names.
I'm gonna have a look. A Gestroi. I have to find one of these because they were more or less like the rest of the isopods. They just had a few creamy yellow spots, but let me try and get this spelling here. Gestroy.
No, Scott. My question to you is: are they native to England? Because these are actually native to England. So we're looking for an isopod native to England. Oh, it is wild in the UK, and it's shiny and balls up. It's a if it's wild in the UK and it's shiny and balls up, it's a vulgar. Vulgar.
Let me have a look. Vulgar.
That's actually
So
really
how's it feel to be on
interesting.
the show? Well, Tony, how's it feel to be on the show?
It feels great.
I was like, yay, Tony's on.
Yeah, this looks like it. Well done. Could be that one. I'll find them and I'll post them, so we'll soon see.
Oh, absolutely. Well, Scott does follow you, so
Yes, I know. Hello, Scott.
you do have fans in the group. So does Tony. Tony has a lot of fans. By the way, congratulations, Tony. But I wanted to I get a question for you. You said you had a Trixopelma. Is it anything like the Trixopelma Pyrenees? How do you pronounce her name again?
I'm not really sure.
Hold on.
I've only got this Trixopelma, which is the is it okay? Arcoti. I butchered the name. I butchered the name because I'm from Birmingham. Like.
Well, I have a Trixopelma Pyrenees, and they're absolutely gorgeous. They do like to dig though. They dig a lot. Even for an older tarantula, I'm like, are you for a dwarf? Even at that, like really, I could never see you. Where are you? And you see these little tiny toes kind of reach up through the soil, like a zombie without having the trap, or like a trapdoor without having the trapdoor. And then they pull the food down, and all of the little substrate falls down into this bigger hole. And then the next thing I know, it's covered again. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you trying to be a trapdoor?
See, this Trixopelma arcoti that I got was when I got to Peter Webster's yesterday. He says, "Oh, I've got this for you," and I was like, "Oh, nice, man, thank you." I rehoused it today, and I realised it had tibial hooks. This one's not a dwarf; it's pretty big. Like it's quite a tank. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
For a mature male.
But this one is a dwarf species.
No, this is pretty big, man. This is like the size of a curly hair, near enough. Like,
Wow.
And how can I explain it? This one's the Arcoti is semi-arboreal. So it lives in spaces and stuff like. Absolutely, I love them though. Like.
I heard noise, and then I heard, oh god.
Oh, that's the cool. I've got a how can I put it? It's like this electronic parrot thing, and it swings from like the ceiling, and it just fell out of mid-air for no reason. Like, and it scared me.
No, I've got a quick question for the audience. I'm about to plug in my headphones because my headphones are deciding to say no. And I'm like, yes, and they're still saying no. They want food. So they want me to charge them. So if you guys hear a hum, let me know.
Okay.
While I fix my headphones, I'm going to play some music.
Okay.
back.
Hello there.
Hello.
And does anybody hear a hum?
No.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I can hear everyone.
Okay,
fine.
good. Good. Because I just want to make sure that there is no hum because of the fact that I have, like I said, I have my headphones plugged in while I'm using them. So
Sweet,
it could
sweet.
be a very dangerous situation when you're trying to do audio.
So,
it's-
question. Just a
Go
quick
ahead.
question. Do you have more New World tarantulas or more Old World tarantulas?
I have more New World than Old World.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
Okay.
But I do have Old Worlds. I have, let's see, I have 2 Regalis. I
Nice.
have a Strapopelmicaliatum.
Nice.
I have a Serrated Gyrus Maradonalis.
See, I haven't seen that.
It's the hornless baboon, but it's
Oh.
she is absolutely beautiful. She's the one I actually posted on. I actually posted on Instagram and said that she looks angry. Her name's Slapper for a reason.
Oh, I remember her. Yeah.
Yep.
Really pretty.
And then I have a Heterothele. Oh gosh, what's the last part of their name? The chestnut baboon, dwarf.
I'm not
I
sure.
can't-
I'm not sure on the scientific name for that.
So there's one on
see
here
it.
that I like on your account, which has some green and brown in it, and kind of an orange, fiery looking backside.
Who's
Ooh,
is
which
this?
one?
This is on your account, the Exotic Radio. Gemini.
Oh, Gemini, you like my GBB. Yeah, but Velocilla, that's what it was. Heterothele Velocilla. Is it Velocilla or Velocilla?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. No, my question to you, both of you, since you're both into very different types of spiders, do you have friends that come up and go, "What is this?"
Oh man, all the time. I get asked ridiculous questions about. I get asked questions about pets that I've never even seen before. Like,
I've actually had people asking me questions as if I would know what every single spider is now. But yeah, also a lot. Even on Instagram, people have sent me like, "Can you identify this?" I'm just like, "Hang on a second." I put it in my bug app, and I'm like, "Yes, it's this." So I sound really intelligent. But a lot of my friends don't like them, surprisingly, or my mother. So
yeah. See, in real life, I don't really have many friends that like even like tarantulas. Everyone that I know around me are like scared of them, except for literally Mark the Spider Guy and Peter Webster. That's and a couple of other people. That's literally it. Like,
can be quite a good thing though. I find like I'm less into socializing nowadays. So if you don't want people to come over, just fill your house with pets that they're scared of and
yeah, man. But they're got a house with Poecilotheria. Like,
Yeah.
like,
No, Tony, are you?
Go on.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was going to say, so when you keep spiders at home, has anyone done this as a joke? So had like a little terrarium and just been like, "Oh, there's my, whatever spider, the really poisonous one." And it was open. And you're like, "Oh, how did that get open?" It must have got out. Like if someone was over. Have you ever done that?
see, I've got a funny story about that, a recent one. It weren't with a tarantula, it was with a scorpion. I had plumbers in because I'm having a pub I'm not having it. My landlord's having the pub renovated. Like it's redone kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Plumbers in the flat upstairs, and they had to come into my room to like mess with like the radiators and stuff. And I was handling like an adult male H. Petersii, like an Asian forest scorpion. And he was like, dude. And the plumber came in, looked at me, and he just went pale. Like, he did not. Nothing could have prepared him for that situation. Like,
It was just like, why me? Because a lot of people are so scared of these things because they've never come into contact with it. And I find most people are generally not interested in nature, which is terrible. They just have this fear of everything. Even I have friends who are scared of mice, and I think they're so cute. But yeah, that's funny. What did he do? Did he do his work? And
I just kind of like put the scorpion away, and I was like, "Oh, just be careful over this side of the room," and because I've got like quite a few venomous things in it. And he was like, "Oh, okay," but it was the reaction on his face. The human brain, especially the British human brain,
yeah,
when you see a scorpion and you don't know it's going to be, you don't register what it is. You're like, "Oh my god!" Like this
Yeah.
man's insane. Like it
Yeah,
looked
yeah,
crazy or something.
that's quite funny.
No, speaking of scorpions, my friend had been handed recently an unknown scorpion because it came in a crate of bananas of an unknown origin of country.
Mm.
It could be anything.
We figured out it's we put our heads together. We know it is a not juvenile. It's kind of like a subadult. So
Yeah.
we know it's a subadult, and we know because of the tail itself. It looks to be male-ish. And I don't know if the males and the females both have really fat tails.
Yeah.
But we've come down. But it's so funny because I asked Bailey Bailey from Bailey's Bug Blog, how good are you at identifying scorpions?
I
He
can
goes,
identify- I can identify whether it's really dangerous or not. Like,
Mm.
oh, then I will send it to you, and I'll see if
Yeah,
our
I can
guess
tell
is
you,
right.
just look at it. Are the you know the pincers on the scorpion? Are they really small or really fat?
Small.
Yeah, it's pretty venomous.
Oh wow.
I'll send you a picture.
Send me a
I'll
picture.
send you. I will send you a picture,
So
Tony.
Did that come by accident in a crate or intentionally?
Yes,
Wow.
It was a
that was an
freebie.
accident. That was somebody. The thing is, somebody got hit by the pinchers, but did not get hit by the stinger.
Oh man, I'm so grateful they didn't get hit by the stinger. If it's, I want to see a picture of it now. Like,
Yeah, Bailey says we think it's a Buthidae
we think
or
it's
the
a breed.
Buthidae family.
What's that now? Can you explain? I'm not
The fat tail or
Fat tail,
bark
I was going to say.
scorpion.
I was going to say fat tail. Message me on. Have you got me on Instagram, Chris?
I do not know if I do, but I will look you up.
Yeah. Brummy tea keeper. Send me a picture of it, and I'll tell you if it's like dangerous or not. I'm really good with scorpions. I'll know if it's a fat tail. So
I'm
someone-
silent. Keep talking, guys. While I'm looking this, trying to find you on Instagram.
so
I do not have you.
did somebody get pinched by this then?
Yeah, they got the glove part, and then the apparently from what we understood from the story that it realized it was taking on too much and decided to run.
That's hilarious.
I got took out by a pet spinnifer. You know the Asian forest scorpion, but it looks like a emperor scorpion, and it's got a red stinger.
Wow.
And that was pretty.
No, I don't know that one.
I ended up giving it to Peter Webster, and it died. But it just randomly died. Like we don't understand why. But me and Peter Webster got stung by this scorpion.
Did it hurt?
It was. You want to know something funny? The size of it. It's left a scar on my little finger.
Oh
Like,
wow.
But it didn't actually hurt at the time. It just like felt weird because I'd just been attacked. You know what I mean? Like, the jump scare hurt more. Like,
Yeah.
that was the. But that's a cool story about getting pinched.
Yeah. That's a very cool scar to have. You know, the people be
Yeah.
like, "Where'd you get that?" It's like, got attacked by a scorpion. You know.
I've got one on my middle finger from when I got tagged by a juvenile LP.
Okay.
Like 4 or 5 inches. The Lasiodora parahibana, the salmon pink bird eater,
Mhm.
that tagged me on my middle finger, and I actually left like a pretty decent mark on my finger. Man. It's
Ooh.
really big.
That
The only
sounds
reason-
painful.
The only reason that really hurt is because like the thought of it, the fang bouncing off my knuckle bone, like because it hit me dead on the knuckle, like.
The fingers are so sensitive anyway. I mean, we have so
Yeah,
many
yeah.
nerve endings there.
My whole, I just couldn't move my middle finger. Like it was like a bee sting. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was weird. Like it was the jump scare that hurt me more. I remember seeing it. Like I went to grab the water dish like an idiot without tongues. With this LP now, I use tongues whenever I do anything with it because I've learned my lesson. Like,
Mhm.
and I went in, grabbed the water dish. It was like not far away from the water dish, but like within pouncing distance. And it felt the vibration, gone into a feeding response, and just grabbed my middle finger, but then like released it immediately. And then all I remember is thinking, "Don't pull my hand back because I'll kill the spider." Like as soon as I saw it twitch, like,
Yeah.
I knew it was happening. Like
That's
But that
pretty
was-
intense.
Tony, I sent you 2 pictures.
right, I'm gonna have a look now.
So that's interesting. So you mentioned that, like with the vibration. So I think most spiders seem to, rather than work with vision, they work with sort of the vibrations that they feel, which is similar to the Suggestrias that I have, because they actually can't see very well at all. So when they're in their tube, when they feel something moving on the outside, they have these like suspension sort of strings, I would say, and then they pound.
True spiders, well, especially if they're on their web. When they're on their web, they've got like a mad 3-dimensional like perception of vibration. It's insane. Like my Perigalis is really good for it as well. I lost a clip where I dropped a roach in front of him, and he actually snatches it in midair. Like
Wow.
he doesn't even need it to hit the cork bark to know it's there. He just felt it coming towards him. Like that's how good he was at grabbing his food. Like.
Wow.
That really does look like a fat tail scorpion cracked. Like,
Yeah. Like I said, she. It was funny because she was told she was given all of this information via phone, and then she was going to pick it up, but they decided to drop it off at her work instead. But she works at a pet store, so it looked really bad. To make it worse.
yeah, like,
To make it worse, they the owner of the pet store gave her her own critter keeper, free of charge, water dish, substrate. So it's on cocoa moss right now, cocoa and moss right now, because
nice.
we don't know what environment it wants.
Oh wow.
So we don't know if we should put sand in it. We don't know. Again, we don't know what origin of country it came from.
See, it doesn't look like a common fat tail scorpion.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't look like that's a type of fat tail scorpion. It's not a death scorpion.
Yes,
Like,
we know that. But almost any and all fat tails are pretty potent, medically significant, and can actually put you in the hospital if you don't have the right medical treatment.
yeah, 100%. Especially if you've got like heart conditions and stuff. Like, lung
Which
conditions.
she does. She has a heart murmur.
See, I have heart problems. I've got centrical valve problems, which means like I was born with like deformed heart valve.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm pretty worried. Like the only thing that'd worry me in this room is probably the P190, like because I've got heart block as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
if
you have to be
the P190
careful.
I'd probably need to go to the hospital, but everything else I'd be okay. So, I hope.
But no, if you look at the ridges on the tail, that's a pretty good telltale sign that it is a fat tail of some sort.
Yeah, it is definitely a fat tail because of how fat the tail is. Like, and it's a fat tail. Like,
Well, we're wondering if it's a juvenile or a subadult. I'm thinking subadult, and it's not full. So, because the fat tail comes from the fat reserve through molts, so it basically grows. So we're thinking it's not fully, it hasn't fully grown yet, so it's still got some room to fatten up, if you want to say that. But what I thought it was, what I figured it was because of the coloring, because it was really hard to find a fat tail that had light colored legs and pincers and a dark body.
I'm looking at it right now and I'm trying to think of why has it got like. The only reason I can't explain it is I don't know what kind of fat tail scorpion this would be, but maybe in its juvenile phase, it's got. How can I put it? It's got to molt out before it fully darkens up. Do you know what I mean? I don't
exactly.
Because I don't know what type of scorpion it is exactly. I can't tell you.
And again, you don't know what origin of country it came from either. So
no, even more because
You
I
might
know
have something really unique and rare.
Yeah. Maybe it's like an unknown species. And just,
Yeah.
Oh, that would be horrible.
Trying to get landscapes, doing somersaults in the bush, trying to find it.
Okay, so I'm trying to. Here we go. I'm trying to get you some more, some of the video that because of what I think it is.
If that stung, imagine if you like stuck your hand in like a shipping container and that stung you, you wouldn't even know what's hit you. Like, and that look,
It's because it's so small.
because of the size of the pinchers. Also, if you don't know much about scorpions, a good tip for everyone: look at the size of the pinchers. If the pinchers are large, like pretty like how can you put it? If they've got chunky pinchers, then they're venomous. If they've got little tiny skinny pinchers, they're really venomous. Like it's medically significant. Like
That's interesting. Good to know.
yeah,
I think that's a good point. A lot of the time when people get bitten, you wouldn't really know because a lot of these things you don't feel it straight away. I don't think. So you could easily stick your hand in somewhere, feel a pinch, and just think, "Oh, splinter," something like that. You know?
Oh, trust me, when you get hit by an old world, you'll know it immediately.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I've seen grown men cry. Like,
Grown man, I balled up and I was ready to, I kid you not, during that entire time of dealing with the Metallica bite, if somebody handed me a gun, I would have ended myself.
you got me
It didn't get that bad.
Please tell me more about this. We've got a good subject to talk about this. Try to hear about this.
Well, I will tell you, a lot of bite reports are pretty much here's what it is, what I think it is. I'm trying to no, that's a 403 forbidden. Okay. Can I just, but that wants to, I don't want to copy the, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna type it in slowly but surely, and then
Oh man, I'd hate to get hit by a pokey. I'm ultra cautious with them. Like, I've had some close calls.
I'm hypersensitive to venom. I'm just put that right now.
Yeah.
Not to all venom, but to most that have a certain bonding agent. Don't ask me what that is. But basically bee stings and stuff like that. So I'm out of spiders. Generally don't bother me but some will, and it's basically the histamine reaction.
Oh yeah.
By the way, I put in the chat what I think the scorpion might be. I'm waiting Tony. So while Tony looks that up, I'll explain a little bit more. So I was doing work with invert enclosures and displays for the zoo that I was working at. Now we were doing. Hold on a second. Why am I not coming up on my sound? Okay, yeah, I am coming up on my sound. I was like, "Ooh!" For a minute there, I had a big fear. But anyways, so it was just there's a reptile house that does inverts in Stockholm, and there's other places throughout Sweden that takes in interns, and it's kind of like an internship. It's where you go to learn a particular job and see if that's what you want to do. And you're supposed to, when you're that young, you're supposed to have somebody with you at all times. Now, mind you, this is back in the day. Not everybody followed that rule.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
And so one person was cleaning and I was cleaning the pokey. We had a communal. Now, this one actually was known for cannibalism afterwards, so we actually moved her. But we think that at a certain size, pokies will start eating each other. They're not really meant to be a communal. That's a whole man-made thing. But that's why in some cases it works, in some cases it doesn't, because it's basically against the natural order of things. But you do have a bit of time before the mother starts eating the babies. That is the cool part. So you do have a little bit of time to get her away from the babies to rehouse them. Now, am I saying to put that off? Absolutely not. Please don't put that off. Please do it as immediately as possible, but as safely as possible. So, say you miss something or you didn't get the egg sac out quick enough, and say you want a vacation, come back and there's babies there. She is not going to directly start eating them. She'll stick around in the wild. What she does is she sticks around for a little while, protects them for a certain bit, and then leaves. If she can't get away from them, she will start eating them. So anyways, long story
That's
short.
Quite interesting that animals do that in the wild. I mean, it seems so sad, you know, at what point they go from nurturing to destroying.
It's really not that bad, because here, think about it. A female, when she has an egg sac, she will not eat, she will not sleep, she will not rest, she will be on guard 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
And she's stressed to the max. So once she's laid those eggs and those eggs hatch, think about that relief you're going to feel.
Yeah.
So she's now done her job. Well, she's got a little bit of time before the instincts start kicking in that she needs to go eat, because she's starving.
Yeah.
She's starving to death. So now the babies are moving around and they're fresh food.
Yeah.
It's a very cruel thing, but it's true.
Yeah.
But anyways, we had a female. She was up in a corner, and generally what we would do is we would make sure all of the tarantulas were in their hides. With the communal, they would all generally just run for the hide. Now, we had one very dominant female who thought it was okay to, again, eat her bedmates, but also thought it was okay to hang out around her cork. And most people don't understand, you don't have to clean the poo off the glass every day. You really don't. It stresses the tarantula out, it stresses you out, it's not healthy for them nor healthy for you. They're not going to get sick from that. They get sick from other things, but they're not going to get sick from that. It's basically just aesthetics. But when you have a zoo or have something that collects money from a group of people that come in and want to see these animals, they don't want to see a dirty, dungy enclosure. So these enclosures have to be cleaned once a week. And so I was in there cleaning it out, and of course I was in a hurry, and I saw her up there, and I was like, okay, well, if she jumps on me, she jumps on me. But I can sit there and watch her. What I didn't expect was my friend to call my name and try to have a conversation with me. So I turned my head, and I had what I thought was a short conversation. I looked back. She was no longer in her corner. She was over my hand. Now, I overreacted. I jerked, and as soon as I jerked, she bit. And then she realized that she bit something too big, or maybe it was just a warning for me. I don't know what it was. But she ran away.
Yeah.
So she wasn't out to get me. She was probably just curious about all of the commotion going on with the toothbrush, because that's what we use. We use soft bristled toothbrushes and water to clean off a lot of the poo off the leaves and stuff. And generally you take the long tongs in there and you fish out the water dish. You don't really handle the food or water with bare hands.
Mm-hmm.
And this is before we started, they implemented, you have to use rubber gloves all the time as well because of sickness and all that. Again, this is way back in the day.
Yeah.
So anyways, I got hit, and I got hit hard. There was a lot of blood. Now, I'm going to tell you, when you have that adrenaline run through you, you still feel the bite. That's one thing I'm going to say right now. There is no, you forget the pain. Oh, no. You feel it. You know it's there. And you know the effects of it.
Yeah.
And so that's in the back of your mind already, before even the symptoms hit.
Yeah. 100%.
So I close the enclosure, and I lock it. And then I said, I got hit. And immediately my friend, who pretty much saw the whole deal, saw me flinch, saw me rip my arm out, and saw all the blood instantly, grabbed my wrist, threw my arm up over my head. And then, of course, there's a procedure you have to go through.
Yeah.
And while we were letting, the supervisors, and the supervisors were letting everybody else know what was going on, because it was like, they knew, then the manager of that area knew, and then the manager of that area told the supervisor that was in charge of the whole that particular section, and that supervisor got a hold of medical teams.
Yeah.
It was just like one thing after another.
Mm.
And we put a light tourniquet on my hand, around the wrist, to ensure that, for one, I wasn't going to lose too much blood. Because there's for some reason, I don't think there's an anticoagulant, but I don't know why it bled so bad.
You see, I know why the pokies. You see their fangs. They come up to such a fine point where it's not blunt force trauma. It's like a giant hypodermic needle. Like the cut
Yes.
of the fang is so clean, you'll just constantly bleed. Like,
Wow.
Yeah, no, it was so
That's
bad.
awesome.
And the thing is, she didn't grab me with both fangs. She only got me with one.
ooh, no, imagine. Oh,
Which, so there were, and I still have the scar on my hand. I'll show you the scar later.
That's pretty cool.
what was the first symptom that you had?
Lightheadedness.
Yeah,
And I don't know, honestly, I don't know if it was from my mind just thinking that I'm going to be lightheaded, or if it was just the sight of all the blood, or maybe it was actually the sudden blood loss, or maybe it was the adrenaline. I don't know. But you get really super lightheaded,
yeah.
or at least I did. And then the funny part is there was a small feeder trough, a small feeder or four-wheeler outside that was going around and feeding some of the animals. And apparently somebody had grabbed a rubber bucket from off that and then handed it to me. And at the moment I couldn't understand why, but I kid you not even a minute later I was having my head down in the bucket and just throwing everything up.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
My intestines, it wasn't like there was like a flutter or you feel nauseated. No, your intestines start to cramp. You know, most people talk about, the arm, the hand. What they don't tell you is how your chest, your internal organs are going to react to this.
Yeah, of course. Your body is in the purest form of. It's like shock. Your intestines react to it like they won't know what's happening. You want to throw up, but there's nothing left to throw up, so they'll literally just clench. Like I've seen I saw a man get bit by a pea. Now I had my friend's dad. He used to be like known for handling his pea regardless. I'll openly say it. The man was a fool. Like I went up with the kid, saw him get tagged by a pea. No,
Yeah, no, it's not fun at all.
no, his recall of it was like two giant hypodermic needles going straight through his hand. He locked the enclosure, and then it felt like his hand was broke, and he was getting like pneumonia at the same time. He said it felt horrible. He had to go to the hospital. He passed out. Like,
See, I didn't pass out. Did I feel like my hand was broken? Not immediately. But you do get the sensation like somebody's taking a sledgehammer to it.
yeah,
But that's part of the muscle, because the muscles are starting to cramp because of the toxin in it. The toxin is supposed to cause paralysis in invertebrate. So invertebrate's paralysis isn't losing feeling. It just means everything locks up.
yeah.
And so my whole arm, hand, shoulder, you could feel it all the way down and into the back. And I started feeling it partly into the rib cage. Mainly because they had my arm up. They keep for the blood control, the bleeding under control.
Yeah.
And then after that, high fever, and the swelling was just so much. But then for me, because I did have hypersensitivity, it affected my breathing. It affected my heartbeat. So I was laid down in the hospital they wouldn't let me leave for 3 days.
Whoa, that's pretty bad.
Well, this is more of a straight up precaution, because you were dealing with a hospital that's never had to deal with an exotic animal like that before.
I bet you told,
So they
I bet you
take
told
it to
them.
extreme.
I bet you
Go
told
ahead,
them, like, oh man, I've been bit by a P Metallica, and they're like, wait, what? Like,
Well, they had all the records from the zoo, so they knew exactly what the symptoms were. But nobody has, and honestly, there's no real physical evidence that says that this particularly attacks the heart. But you have to remember, I carry an EpiPen because of bees. So they don't know the effects on somebody like myself. So they had to take it to the extreme precaution. Which was interesting, because by the second day, the morphine was finally starting to kick in as a painkiller.
yeah.
I will tell you this, all the morphine did was I felt the pain. I just didn't care I was in pain. That's what morphine did for me.
That's That's funny. Oh my god. Well, I didn't actually know this because I was reading up on the tarantulas, and I when I was reading about sort of toxins and stuff, I read that there are no medically significant ones, and that it's a kind of myth. So I don't know where I read this, but by the sounds of it, there are some that can really give you a bit of a nip.
Yeah, if you can Google this right now. If you Google pea or night of venom, and it comes up medically significant, but no one's ever died from it. Like,
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
nobody's died.
no,
I was
like,
gonna say not a single person has
Never?
been on record of dying.
but if you look it up, it says that they do possess medically significant venom, which makes literally no sense. Because like, surely you've got to have like a casualty record through. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
From previous cases. So they tend to make you sick, but not kill you.
yeah, like it's
Basically.
probably one of the worst pains you could imagine. But you ain't gonna
Now,
die.
Flo, you're into the wildlife. Bailey just said, "Ken loving this. Build up a video setup to get a macro videos of my spiders and wildlife in the UK." Now, remember when I said there's people that take pictures?
Yes.
Bailey is one of them.
Yeah, no, I read that a moment ago as well. So I need to do a little bit of research. I did in the beginning, and then I just sort of gave up and see what I can get on my phone.
But yeah, no, there's my story. Now, the thing is, was I highly disciplined? Yes, I was taken off the care of medically significant animals for a very, very long time. And yeah, no, it was a very well lesson learned. But yeah, do I ever recommend somebody to handle an old world like a P. Metallica? Absolutely not. Because like I said, once the pain kicks in, you really you would, if somebody handed you a gun, you would just end it, because it just is, it fries your mind. It really does. It's just horrible. Huh?
Straight up torture, old world venom.
Wow.
Yeah. But most people go, well, you see some people who were, trying to act tough. They don't take the medication. They don't act out. No, if a big man cries, and he's the guy, kind of like the bricklayer type, like with the guys I've been around, where they can take a full-on brick to the hand and kind of shake it off after a few cuss words, and he's crying because of the bite, trust me, that bite is no joke.
Yeah.
No, it's funny because I have an Escald now, so. No, the funny part is, because I had worked with the zoo, I now, and because of the incident, I follow the one rule: know where your tarantula is at all times.
Yeah, that's a good rule.
This is an interesting story. So in the morning, I have this routine where I check my tarantula enclosures. I make sure everybody's okay. Because, like I said, I have a fairly large collection, and most of them are males. Yeah. And most of them have hooked out. They've got their hooks now.
Yeah.
So a couple of them are coming up on the end of that cycle. And that means that they're not going to be alive for very long.
Oh no, it's so sad.
Which is sad, but it's something that I have to do. I have to check and make sure everybody's okay. It's still one of those things. Yeah. And make sure everybody's in their enclosure, nobody's chewed their way out. Because it happens. You have a tarantula, they will do it. Knock on wood. But anyways, one of the lids to my P. regalis at the time, when I only had one, which is Izzy, the lid, for some reason, the top of the lid came down on top of the closing instead of the closing pinching down the top of the lid in the tub.
Yeah.
And which left a gap, a pretty sizable gap. And I want to imagine 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, you'll walk by and you see an empty enclosure.
Oh, God. Sorry.
It's a regalis on top of that.
Oh,
who's on the verge of maturing, so he's quite big.
Oh, my God.
He was he's 17 and a half. I think he was like 16 centimeters at the time when this happened.
Regalis. The females get massive.
the females get massive. He's a boy and he's massive. I'm
Yeah.
like, good god. But anyways, I'm like, oh god, this is not happening. This is so not happening. I am
Yeah,
not,
absolutely.
because this is an art studio. He can hide anywhere. I have bolted bookshelves to the floor, but there's a small gap that he can actually get behind.
Oh my
So that
God.
means these bookshelves that take is a 3-man lift has to be taken down and pulled back just to get a rig out. Do you know what kind of strings I would have to pull and people I'd have to pay for that?
Yeah, that's like it's a business investment. Like,
So I grab him. I grab the enclosure, and I feel something move, and I see this dark gray thing trying to get into his enclosure in a very panicked mode.
Oh.
yeah,
So I
it's
like,
safety.
so I lift it up really quick, and he goes right down into his cork bark. He's like, giving me the proverbial middle finger
yeah,
all
yeah.
the way, because I almost squished him with my hand. A poor baby, right?
Aw.
And I'm like, where were you? I'm sitting here thinking, how in the... Because he didn't see him. So I was like, yep. So now I don't walk in here without a cup of coffee first.
Straight look at the Pirigalis enclosure. See, I had a similar thing happen with a Pirigalis, but it was a different type of situation. I had I call all my animals are like named. Like I named my Pirigalis Shredder, like because he's so curious. Like if he's out and you bang the side of the enclosure, he won't run into his hide. He'll just sit there and wait to see what happens. Like he's a little
Oh, that's
badass.
Izzy. That's 100% Izzy.
Yeah, and the one day I'm feeding him because I was amazed because he was new to me. It was the first time I had a pokey. I was like, I had that fresh pokey feeling. Do you know what I mean? And I've opened the lid. The lid just fell down behind the cork bark that he's in. Like, so there's like a sandwich between the lid and the cork bark. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
like I'm trying to get the lid out with the tweezers, and he's just standing his ground. He doesn't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm having like a silent panic. Like I've got one of the kids with me because I let them follow me around whilst I'm doing my thing. And I remember saying to the older one, like, I've got to put my hand in now and grab this lid. Like, otherwise there's a Pirigalis in the house. Like, because he's shy but curious. One more false move, he would have just run for it. Now, I've put my hand in to grab the enclosure. I just committed to it. I was like, screw it. I'd rather get tagged than losing. Like, put my hand in, grabbed it. He panicked, flew up my arm, yeah, and then just like sat on he was so fast. He was on the side of his enclosure outside. Like, but I remember that panic in my brain, like, oh my God, he's bit me. Do you know what I mean? Because I have fast.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I was just waiting for it, like.
That's the thing, they're so fast. I heard so that the Segestries that I have outside, they also have an extremely painful bite and also venom, but I don't believe it's anywhere near as strong as a tarantula's. But I've spoken to some people who have been bitten by them, and they describe it quite similarly to what you guys have been saying about the pain and so on.
See, with a
Yeah.
pokey, with like a Pirigalis, I've heard that it's similar to having your hand in a deep fat fryer. Like,
Oh,
that's what I've
Yeah,
heard.
no, it's like, it is, it's,
Really?
I think that's the same as the P. Metallica. It's like somebody taking a hot wire and going right up through the vein.
Yeah, it's excruciating. And OBTs are really bad for it as well. They've got like pretty bad bite.
Well, the thing is, I think the OBT, no, Flo, an OBT is an orange baboon tarantula, or an orange body thing, or an official boxing trainer, depending on who you talk to. That's what I call them. But I don't think they deserve the reputation that they've gotten over the years. I think that's more, it's kind of like the pit bull getting the nasty reputation for being
Yeah.
this horrible dog, and they're absolutely not. They're actually dreams come true. But that's one thing I wanted to touch on. The OBTs, I think, have got more of a Hollywood and Hollywood fear about them, a very made up fear about them, because again, most of the ones I've seen just want to run. They want to hide in a little hole. Unless they're rehousing, then the legs come out, and then they're. But that's any old world, pretty much, or even new world. Anytime you want to do something, like a rehouse, you want to take them from their home, and then put them in their new home. It's like, nope, screw you. I'm having, a whole bunch of other stuff. Creepy Crawly. Hold on 1 second. Creepy and Crawly UK says, my wandering spider is a true definition of a teleporter. You have a wandering spider?
Ooh.
Is it from Australia? Oh, okay. Scott wants me to tell you guys about Heart Attack. Oh my gosh. Tony, do you have any Cambergy?
Cambridgeye.
Or Camberjoy, sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I fancy weird. Like, I've got
I call it a Cambergy. I'm sorry.
I nearly bought one when I was with Mark the Spider Guy yesterday. We was in a pet shop buying live food, and like they had the Summer Pace Cambridgeye, and it was really cheap, but it was just a sling. Like, do you know what I mean? And
yes.
I had to stop myself from buying it. But no, I don't know, man.
Okay, Flo, are you ready to hear another funny story?
Yep, I'm ready.
No, this is a reminder to everybody, no matter how much experience you have under your belt, you're always going to make a mistake somewhere along the line. And it's usually fueled by impatience, being in a hurry, and just really dumb decisions. Mix those three together, and then you get what my experience with Heart Attack was. I got a new enclosure set up for my Cambridgeye. I'm so used to calling it Cambergy. But there's a reason why I've named them Heart Attack. Well, let me explain. This goes way back in the day. When I first got them, they were 4 centimeters long. And they'd set up in their little home.
Yeah.
They set up this little funnel in the corner behind this little castle that I put in there.
Yeah.
It was a cute little bugger. I love them. But it was an aquarium castle, so they can go through the windows and the doors, and also it blocked off a lot of the whole corner big enough just for them to feel safe.
Yeah.
And I kid you not, every time I knew it was coming, but every time, this one did not want pre-kill. Even at that size, you could not give them a pre-kill food.
Yeah.
So what you did was you give them a pre-kill and you made it look alive with a little straw. You wiggled
I've
it.
done that. Yeah.
And then all of these legs will fly out. They grab the food. They go right back into their home. Gives you a small heart attack. So that's how they earn the name Heart Attack. Now, mind you, now they're much bigger, and so they needed to go into their permanent home.
Yeah.
Like, okay. I was like, they'll probably come out, fly out, and they'll probably run from me. So I block in the little way, and I'm like, I'm not even going to bother with a catch cup, because this is going to be way too much of a pain in the butt to do. First mistake, no catch cup.
Yeah.
Big mistake. Now, Flo, I don't know if you know the terminology of a catch cup, but it's pretty self-explanatory. I think you can kind of get a picture of what a catch cup is.
I asked you that. Do you remember we were talking about a spider in my cupboard? So
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah. So I got no catch cup. So I'm armed with a straw. And that's it. With one of the fastest arboreals I've ever seen. I take the straw and I, push back their little castle. And of course they're angry. Legs are flying. There's a threat pose. And they take off the wrong freaking way.
Yeah.
Oh, I was so mad. First they come after me, so I'm like, crap, I'm flailing. And then it's like, oh, I don't want to deal with you. So they go up and over and outside their enclosure.
Yeah.
And just sit there and pause and watch me, of course, because every time I move, they would move. We would do this little dance off.
Oh my god.
And now it's too late, because if I get a catch cup and I try to get them in a catch cup, they're just going to run.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't even know how I'm going to do this. So I wait for them to do their, I call it the pre-pokey phase, the pokey pose, where they gather the legs up. But I mean, all arboreals do it. So
I know.
it's you know exactly which pose I'm talking about. The
Yeah,
floats,
we'll
they
call it the
gather
arrow.
the yes, the arrow. They gather their legs up and make themselves as streamlined as possible. Now this is a very dangerous position
Yeah,
because this means that they're actually putting more fluid back into their legs because
yeah,
like hydraulics, if they use their legs,
yeah.
there's a brief moment where you could actually catch them because they have to slow down because there's no more fluid in the legs to push the legs.
Yeah, yeah.
But in this position, they can reset. And what's really bad with arboreals is they use gravity to their advantage. So when they go up and down, the fluid will actually dump into the lower legs a little bit faster, so they can actually go either forward or backward really quick.
Yeah, they can spring so well,
Yes.
and they can jump really effective. And you know, because they'll go into the arrow stance, pump that fluid into the joints, and then
Yep.
spring forward like a greyhound. Like it's insane.
Wow.
Yes. So, anyways, I go to put I go to put this I go to put the catch cup over them because I know, and I'm thinking, okay, I can just corral them up and over, right? Nope. They go sideways.
Yeah,
I'm like, are you kidding me? So I try to use a straw to stop them from going the one direction. And then I find them on the lid or on the door, and I'm like, oh, you know what? And I've like, boom, I put the little catch cup over them, and I'm like, oh, finally. So I like
Really?
move it over. Now, mind you, they're in a position I can't really slip anything up and underneath them, so I move them over slowly to around the door. And do you want to know what my excuse the language, ladies and gentlemen, and if you're underage, I'm sorry, but my dumbass did was not put a lid on top of the enclosure.
Oh no.
So they go up and around the door like I want them to, but then they don't stop. They just keep going and up and over again. I'm like, oh. But they don't leave the enclosure. And I'm like, I'm sitting here thinking in the back of my head, I was like, are they having a good time at my expense? Are they actually laughing at me? Am I
Yeah.
actually being mocked by a tarantula?
Yeah. Like arboreals, especially because when they load up, they're getting ready to go up. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'll
Oh, yeah,
load.
absolutely.
If they can't run away from you like in a straight line, they're gonna outrun you by climbing. Like they're gonna get so you can't reach them. Like
Sounds like a lot of work.
it's just you just take extra precautions, especially like I do it with my pokies. I always just have little countermeasures ready for them. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, you've got to be ready with like boxes, cups, all that kind of stuff.
yeah, I typically
Yes.
have like a piece of cardboard.
Not a straw.
No, I use a straw. Here's the reason why I use straws. Now I've seen a tarantula break a fang, or not actually do the breaking, but when they came into the zoo, they actually had it broken and it recently. So I do not wish that on any of the animals. So the metal parts of the brush always really worry me.
Yeah,
So I always use a straw. Straws are very cheap, easy. They can grab it and they can pull it and they can keep it. They're not gonna get poisoned by it. They're not gonna ingest it. They're not
cool.
gonna. So it's like a fun toy for them. It depending on which tarantula you sell. It's like, here you go, have a toy. So yes, that's why I use straws. They're very and on top of that, believe it or not, when you're trying to rehouse, sometimes they'll get into crevices that a brush can't bend, but a straw can. So you can gently push them out.
like the probe.
So how
Yes.
often do you have to rehouse them? Spiders in general.
Depends on which species and the size, and how
Yeah.
fast they're growing, and age.
Okay.
My Lasiodora parahibanas, the salmon pink bird eaters, they get rehoused pretty often now because they're
Okay.
hitting that stage where they're just molting and doubling in size. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like I've got to get a couple of exoterras for my salmon pink bird eaters. They're getting ridiculous.
Oh wow.
Wow. And then the cleaning side of it, like how often do you have to do that? Because I assume like all pets, they poop.
Oh yeah, no. Well, for me, I don't really care about the poo on the glass so much. I usually clean my enclosures once every month.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's generally what I call a maintenance day. It's
Mhm.
basically everybody gets cleaned. It doesn't matter if they need it or not. That means water dishes are thrown in the dishwasher. Everything gets taken care of.
Yeah.
So for me, it's about once a month, and it's including the slings. Slings generally needed more often because they're growing more, so they're going into more pre molts. So
Mhm.
they leave their food behind, and so they it can get kind of moldy. Mark, as Mark was talking about mold, and then no matter what you do, how much cleaning you can do, you will always get mold. Just remember, mold is not your friend unless you have springtails. Springtails, I've noticed whenever I have springtails in the enclosure, they do not have the mold like normal. And what it is they're
Yeah.
eating the material before it gets dead,
Yeah.
before it can actually do anything.
So this is like leftover food and stuff like that.
Yes.
Mhm.
And rotting material from, because the poo's got to go somewhere, especially
Yeah.
if they're terrestrial and not fossorial, or not fossorial, but arboreal. And now fossorials, to me, I think springtails are almost a must if for your fossorials,
Yeah. I've got
uh, because of the fact that they dig and they live under the ground. You're not going to sit there and dig them out every month and stress them out and ruin their homes just to make sure that they're living okay and healthy.
Mhm.
To do that, try not to give them, don't try to over moisturize them, give them lots and lots of ventilation, and then ensure that they're not storing away food, because my bear Donald did that. I don't know how many times. It's a real pain in the butt when you have a fossorial that's like, oh, I don't care, because you notice most tarantulas are very much a neat freak. They'll throw away their food into the water
Yeah.
dish
Yeah. All mine do.
repeatedly. Well, there's actually a
Wow.
reason why they do it. It's scientific proven that they're doing it because most tarantulas live in rainforests, or they live in a tropical area of some sort, or if they live in an they live around pests. So they want to take their food scraps and then throw them around where some of them will drop them off in water, moving water, just to get so there's no pest collection where they're living,
No way.
because
Wicked.
as you know, ants are deadly to a tarantula.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, you
100%.
didn't know? Absolutely, 100%. They can't fight. They can't fight against them.
Yeah. Oh, because they come in swarms, don't they?
They're just too small for them to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, people don't realize like tarantulas are actually really fragile. Like that's one thing that you learn when you start to get into collecting is how fragile like they can be.
Mhm.
You can't even leave crickets in the enclosure for them in case your tarantula goes into pre-molt. Because your tarantula will start molting, then the cricket will just start eating the tarantula, man. Like,
Really?
yeah.
Yeah, no. Tarantulas
Oh my
aren't. Tarantulas are not the top of the food chain like a lot
No.
of people think they are.
No.
Wow.
They're
Yeah,
actually
because
pretty
you can remember they're a giant sized snack for any type of bird that needs a good snack.
Yeah.
Rats are actually good hunters of tarantulas, believe it or not.
yeah.
Wow.
Even the carcass of a tarantula can feed a large colony of ants.
Mhm.
So a lot of animals go after tarantulas. Even frogs will go after
Wow.
the smaller tarantulas. Yeah.
You know, Cracks, talking about frogs and tarantulas, do you know about the postal terrier ornata living communally with that type of tree frog?
Actually, it's not the only one. There's actually not quite a few, but there are several species of tarantula that live with frogs and actually will go out of their way to steal the babies.
Yeah.
Ornata is one of them, by the way. That
Yeah,
that thief is a kidnapper, and I want to call him a molester because they check the actual animal.
yeah. Like, it's cool how they live together though. Like the ornata will eat like certain predators that are coming after the frog, and then the frog will like eat the predators that are coming after the all-nighter's nest. Like,
Yep.
it's so interesting. Like,
And the frogs also like it because the webbing keeps the humidity up and the bacteria down, so they don't
Yeah.
have to deal with a lot of the sickness.
Mm.
and they've got one of the coolest bodyguards on the planet.
Yeah, no, there's also the Xenethus species that do
Yeah.
it as well. But I think it's pretty much there's a lot of tree. I want to say tree dwellers because it's both terrestrial, fossorial, and arboreal that do it. But mostly it's the arboreals that do it. That basically live communally with a frog or two. Now, the frog will lay eggs in the gathered water around the tree or whatever. And as the babies hatch, the tarantula will have as many as they can in there, as long as they don't have a nest full of eggs and stuff like that. But also other tarantulas will steal them.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
They're kidnappers.
But anyway, cracks, I've got to call it a night. I've got to go and have a shower and everything.
Yep. We're going to be live for about another 15 minutes, so
Yeah.
thank you, Tony, for being here. I really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank you. It's been great talking with you.
Anytime, I'm always free. Just drop me a message whenever you're bored or whatever. You know what I mean?
Cool.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, any questions, just give me a shout. Thank you for having me, though, Cracks. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
And thanks for helping me with the scorpion thing.
Look, that's fine, yeah. But enjoy the rest of your night, both of you. Thank you very much.
You too. Take care.
Right.
Take care, Tony. Bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Tony's Tarantulas. Go check him out. Go give him a like, give him a subscribe, hit him up, say hi. Show your love. Show your support. Thank you, and thank you, Flo, for letting us have a guest.
Yes, thank you very much. It's been great and great talking to all of you and learning about all your tarantulas and isopods.
Yes. Unfortunately, Scott's wasn't feeling too well, but definitely need to have you on a Wednesday when I have Scott here because he can tell you all about his isopods. He really does love his isopods. He really, really does. Now, since it is Have a Drink with Me Friday, did you have a drink today?
You know what? I had a cup of coffee because I was really tired before. I was going to have a drink, but I think I drank so much over because we had a lockdown again, 3 months. So a lot of time at home with a bottle of gin. So I'm trying not to.
Oh, you're a gin lover. That's great.
Yes, I like gin. What's your drink?
Well, that depends on the mood, but generally it's cognac or rum. So
Nice. Did you have a drink?
Unfortunately, no.
Next time we'll do that.
Yes.
I'm going to be up now. I tend to get tired at the end of the day and then not be able to go to bed. So then I have coffee and now I'm going to be wide awake. Which is pretty stupid.
Bing!
Ding, exactly.
Well, I was going to say, I need a refill, so I was going to play another song so we can quickly get a refill and give our audience a quick break.
Cool.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen.
I called my cat in between and I heard myself echo. Can everyone still hear me on that?
Yeah. Yes, we can still hear you. We heard it. We heard everything.
Mumbling to myself, called the cat. Oh God, I'm new to this.
You're fine. You're fine.
Yes. Yeah, I was calling her. She gets her evening biscuits at this time. Some teeth cleaning biscuits and some valerian biscuits.
Now we've got a couple of comments so I wanted to give everybody a shout out. Everybody that's here, please say hi in the chat so I can give you your shout out. We've got Bailey's Bug Blog. We've got Mark the Spider Guy, Stefan Hotup, Happy Ant. Who else we got? Come on now. Don't be shy. Say hi. I like how there's an awkward silence amongst the chat. That's like. So, while we're waiting for people to say hi, I wanted to actually ask you about. Oh, Creepy Crawly UK says hello. Bailey's Bug Blog says hello. YOLO. Mark the Spider Guy says hi. Happy Ant. Is that everybody? I know we got more people.
Yeah, we had a good group today.
We had a wonderful group today. Stefan Harp says hi.
Hello.
Oh, hello, Bailey. Bailey, you're coming over tomorrow, right? You might live in the UK. There might be some issues traveling, but you're still coming over, right? Making whiskey cocktails. I see how he is. Oh my goodness. No, hold on one second. So anyways, Bailey's just smiling. Now my question to you is, because I started this group about looking around and stuff, have you seen any bees around where you've been?
Where I live?
Yes.
Not particularly. I rarely see bees on my terrace, to be honest. Just a couple. Now, when I go to the park, so I live about 20 minutes from Hyde Park, which is quite a large park in central London. There's a different story, but bees are, I would say, not doing so well in London. If you're in more of a quiet residential area, then it's okay. You'll kind of see them, but my bee house, as you see, is occupied. So there's not really anywhere for them to stay.
Okay. Well, one of the reasons I was asking is because in our group, our scavenger hunt, our first week in the group is to look for bees. The goal is take as many pictures of different species, and the ones with the most species actually wins at the end of the week.
Okay.
And what it is, it's a starter kit, an invert starter kit for the winner. And of course, it doesn't make you eligible for the other weeks, except for at the end of the week, who can take the most steps at the end of the week. So who can take the most steps at the end of the month gets a beautiful big prize. So it's like, it's got animal adventure, he goes, bees. Bailey's like, bees. Gosh, now we started something. Save the bees, yes. But believe it or not, I wanted to highlight bees because, like I said, I have an EpiPen. So bees are something even I'm brave enough to get next to. I just gotta watch not to get stung so I don't get around the hives. I'm not walking around barefoot, stomping on them or anything like that. I'm not trying to make them mad. And no, wasps do not count as bees. I'm talking about the actual bee.
Yeah. So the job would be to go and hunt down bees, take pictures, and see what I can find.
Basically, post them on our group,
Okay.
the various different bees, and then if you want, keep everybody updated on your steps. So if you, like I said, if you take the most steps by the end of the month, then you can win the actual big prize, which is a starter kit, stickers from Scott Salmo Ventures, and cookies. Fresh baked cookies from
Ooh.
myself.
Ooh.
Huh?
That sounds good. You know, I
Because
want to
Wednesday.
get involved.
Oh, absolutely great! That's great. Because Wednesday, I've decided to try and do, like I said, a weight loss contest. Who can lose the most weight, kind of thing. And then I decided to talk to a doctor about safe tips and stuff, and then we had this long sit down and talk, and like, no, contests and weight loss, just no. It's not people. We're not worried too much about people with mental illnesses. We're worried about people taking it to extremes just to win.
Competitive, yeah. Because there's a lot of weight you can lose weight quickly, but it's water weight in general.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
So
Which
it's
is
not very
dangerous.
healthy.
No, and it doesn't last.
Exactly. So I was thinking, oh gosh, that actually can get pretty dangerous. I don't want people to put. So the doctor himself actually sat down with me and actually helped me put together a group idea.
Mm-hmm.
And then I sat down with Ellie's bug babies, and we came up with walking, which is really not only really great, but also there's a lot of walking groups. And so I was asking Scott Invers, I was bugging Scott a bit. I was like, happy at, it's like facepalm. Yeah. Anyways, I was asking about, safe things we could do for the walking group, which is like stretch the hamstrings, drink plenty of water. And then Ellie, of course, not only helped come up with a name, but also helped come up with an idea of like a scavenger hunt.
Mm-hmm.
So we do weekly. So this week is the starter kit, and next week will be stickers,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll think about something to give away on the third week, and then at the end of the month, who has taken the most steps. So keep in mind when you're doing the scavenger, get like a fitness app of some sort, and then track your steps, because and so you can take a screenshot of the steps you take, post it in the group, and who's taken the most steps wins the prize.
Sounds good. Yeah, the last few weeks I haven't walked as much. So this time round, apart from drinking gin during the lockdown, I walked a lot. And I met up with one of my friends, and we walked so far. I couldn't make it all the way home. There were like 2 bus stops. I was like, I'm sorry, I have to get on a bus here. But I never calculated them. But she had the app, and I think we had walked something in the realm of like 25,000 steps, which is quite a lot, I think, for one day, because she's doing like 10,000 a day. So it's a good idea. Yeah, you guys can inspire me, because I seem to have gone back into lazy mode and eating bowls of cereal and all that kind of stuff.
Well, this is stemming off of me trying to get healthier. I got some really bad news on Wednesday from the doctor. So I'm like trying to. I have to lose the weight. They're actually starting Monday putting me on a very drastic diet to lose a lot of the weight.
Okay.
It's a mono diet, and I'm not supposed to work out heavy or anything like that because of the lack of nutrients I'm putting in. So there's nothing really too much to replace. But walking is actually good.
Yeah, walking. I have a lot of problems with my nerves and stuff. I used to use a gym, but I can't anymore because I have carpal tunnel, other issues. So I'm also more or less just walking, which is good.
So yeah, no, like I said, it's a group, a walking group. No shoes for you, because not too many pets have shoes.
No shoes?
No shoes for you. That's the name of the group. Because we're an exotics pet group.
I got it. I thought I wasn't allowed to wear shoes. I was like, what?
No. We're an exotic pet group, so none of our pets wear shoes, and not all pets even have legs, so or feet at that.
Yeah.
So we were just something very, very cute, something that we can all relate to.
I like that. What have we got?
Yeah,
Someone
see, Stefan. Stefan, you can actually participate. Believe it or not, it's walking is fine. You can see how many steps you take. You may not win at the end of the month, but you can still do the trivial, the not trivial, but the scavenger hunts. Like I said, this week is bees. Now, some people are going, well, there's no bees where I'm at. You don't know that by the end of the week. I've seen one bee. One. And unfortunately, I can't participate because I'm the holder of the contest. But you never know. One might actually let you win, so.
Yeah. I'll have to get down to the local park because I struggle to find any bees on my terrace.
You have spiders. They're staying away from the spiders.
Yeah, I think that's it. Definitely. But I look forward to this walking thing. So I need to download an app and hopefully everyone's going to join in.
Yep. Now I'll send you a Facebook group invite.
Okay, cool.
Because it's a public group, so everybody can see us.
Perfect.
Let me do that right now while I'm thinking about it. Because shortly after this, I think I'm gonna crash on my bed and die.
Good thinking.
So let's see.
Do you know, I haven't used my Facebook in absolutely ages. I created a Florence one just to join this British Spider one, but I can log in if I can remember the password.
Hold on. Let's see if we can get you. Actually, you know my name, so.
Yes, I do.
Just look me up on Facebook once you get in, and then send me an invite or shoot me a message. We'll work it out. So what did I miss? Oh, we missed a very bad dad joke, which is awesome. I remember growing up, dad jokes were the best. Let's see if I can find it again, because it was actually pretty funny.
Yeah, Scott's Animal said, what about boobies? I don't know if you saw that. Boobies? Yeah.
No.
We were talking about bees. Do boobies count?
No. Nice try. Oh, boobies. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
And then come to the dark side, we have cookies in quite the literal way. But that's not the joke I was looking for. Where is it? If you won't get stung if you behive yourself.
Oh, that's funny. That's a real dad joke.
Yes, that's a pure dad joke right there.
Well, that can be another challenge for next week for everyone to come up with the worst dad joke they can. Just bring it on. You have a week to prepare.
Bring it on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Well, and we are at our 2.5 hour mark. I was going to go for 3 hours tonight, but I have to actually get up like 6 o'clock in the morning tomorrow morning, and it's almost midnight.
No, time to go to sleep. We need to get straight to bed. Thank you so much for having me on. Yeah, it's been great, and good night to everybody. Hope you all have a wonderful evening.
And again, thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it. I'm a huge fan of yours, and I'm a fan of what you do.
I'm a fan of your spiders too, and your art.
Big pleasure. Oh yes, the kitties.
Yes, lovely.
So anyways, thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you everybody for being here. I am Cracks, your host with Flo the Funnel and Friends. Go check her out on Instagram. Go sign up. And with Tony Tarantulas, give him a shout out. Send him some love. Tell him thank you for being on the show. Maybe we can get him back on some other time. I know Flo will be more than welcome to come on another time again. Again, so good night, everybody. Good night, Scott's Animal Adventures. Good night, Stefan. Good night, Mark the Spider Guy. Good night, Happy Ant. Good night, Creepy and Crawley UK. Anybody else I missed? Who else am I missing? I'm missing somebody. Bailey's Bug Blog. Good night. as well. And of course, oh, I already said Creepy UK. Well, good night, everybody. I hope so. If I missed your name, you should just give me a shout out.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Um,